Hi my friends, this is Tanya at Sidegigcrafts, and I have a tutorial for you today. Yes, an actual tutorial. I was looking all over the internet for a tutorial for a recipe box and could not find one. So guess what? I created my own and I'm super excited to share this with you. So hang tight, it's gonna take a minute, but it's gonna be worth it. This box turned out so great. I love it. I might even make one for my own kitchen. This one's gonna be a gift, but I might make one for myself. So let me show you what we did. All right. First of all, I cut out a lot of the pieces, and my mistake, but I didn't get them all out here. They're right here. So we've got pieces that we need. Now we may just make the base today. You get to decorate how you need to. I don't need that one. Okay. So I've got, what is that? Somebody's texting me. Hi, Mom. All right. One of these is wrong. That one's wrong. You know, this is really funny, but okay, here we go. So this is what I did. This is the bottom, this is the side, this is the side. I'm going to put the measurements in the description box so that you guys go back to it. But I need that one too. But let's start where we start. So I am using chipboard. Now I am super fortunate. I get this chipboard from work. These are signs that we have around our store. But you could use a cereal box. You could use whatever you have available. You want it sturdy because you want your box to be able to hold up over time. So use something good and strong. We're going to be layering it with cardstock as well. But again, you want this to last. So you want this to be a firm board. This is what I'm using. See what you've got. Maybe two layers of cereal box or something like that. Might work really well. And we are going to take some, I'm going to take this cardstock. I don't know what weight this is. It's a decent cardstock chipboard thickness. It works. So, but I don't know what thickness it is. I apologize for that. It's thicker than some, but not as thick as others. Okay, we're going to take, I'm not stalling, I promise. I'm just trying to figure out which way I want to go. So that's the bottom. I need the front and sides. Okay, I'm going to take one side to start. And I made this as easy as I could. Okay, I need two pieces. The sides of your box are going to be, you're going to need chipboard that's 4 inches by 4 3/4. You need two of those. So 4 inches by 4 3/4 inches. Okay. Now you're going to want to take the first one. We're going to simply glue this. I was looking for an easy way to do this, you guys. This was the easiest way I could think of. There might be an easier way. There might be a better way, but I think it turned out great. I'm super happy with it. And I've been thinking about this for a couple weeks on how to make it. Super happy with it. It's not exactly what I had planned, but it worked. So that's what I'm happy about, because no matter what, we're going to have to glue some papers together. Because, you know, we're using 12 by 12 paper. None of it's going to fit. You're going to have to attach paper. That's just all there is to it. You're going to have to find a way to band it together. All right, so this is one side I'm using. Then I need one piece of the front of the box. The front is 3.5 inches by 6 1/4 inches. 3.5 by 6 1/4. Okay, we are going to take this one and glue on the back. Now you can use tape if that works for you. It wasn't working with this cardstock for me because I think it's too heavy for the tape that I have. It just didn't want to stick. And so I was using glue with it, but I don't want to go through all that. The glue is perfect. Now, we are going to, this is the 4-inch side. This is the 4 3/4. We want to, this is going to be the height of the box. This is the front of the box. So we want the height to go up. The front of the box is going to be lined up with the bottom of the side. Leave a small gap about the thickness of your chipboard in there. Try to line this up as evenly as you can. and glue that down real good. Okay. Now, I'm going to just hold it here for a second because this board takes a minute. What we're going to do is we can use our scissors. You can use your guillotine, whatever you want to cut this. Just cut straight across. I guess you could have cut this in cut this in half before we started this process, but whatever. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to go and miter the edges. You want to leave about 1/2 inch down here because we're going to fold this over. So when you glue, so miter the edges this way. Okay, get really close, but don't hit that corner or you're going to have a weird gap. We're going to cut this one this way. Leave a little gap there, a little space so we can overlap those. We're going to also miter in here. Just cut a space there. That'll be fine. And then we still want to miter this corner this way. Hope I'm not confusing you guys, but this corner is kind of awkward, but that will work. And then we're going to miter this corner and this corner. I feel like if I don't get too technical, you guys will get it better. So this is where we're at. Okay. Now, because I use such heavy cardstock, I'm going to take my bone folder. Oops. I buried it, but I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to go around all these pieces and just kind of break down those fibers a bit. It'll make it easier to fold and it'll make sharper corners. Sharper and smoother. So I know we don't all use recipe boxes anymore, but you know what? When somebody gives you a recipe or you print something out or, you want to make a special box, maybe your kids are, growing up and they're moving out and you want to make them something that has some of mom's recipes, mom's food in it. This would be a great gift for someone. And that's what I'm looking at, So I have been wanting to do something like this for a while. It's just finally time. We're going to put glue all along this side. Again, you can use tape if that'll work for you. It was not working for me on the other one, so I'm just using the glue. All right. And for me, I'm going to have to hold this down for just a bit. Not too long. This glue dries up pretty quick, as you know. I'm using Barely Arts glue. It is my favorite. I am not sponsored. I would love to be, but I'm not sponsored. It's pretty much the only glue I really use. So it works very well for everything I need it to. I'm very happy with it. As you can see, that went down really quick. Let's go ahead and get this side. There we go. And we'll just hold this down for a minute, do the same. Just make sure it's nice and smooth. Getting little glue balls on my hands. I just finished making that other box and I thought I'm just going to do this before I forget how I did it. My little tips and tricks. That's what I meant to say. And we'll go ahead here. I probably need to make a few of these for Christmas. Now that I've got it figured out, follow my own tutorial later, huh? And I was gonna make journals and like a cookbook, but this turned out so cute. I don't know. I wouldn't mind having it on my counter in my kitchen or tucked in my cabinet. I think it'd be fun. There we go. Now you'll see because of the way we cut this one, you've got a little triangle here. That's okay because we still want to cover that edge. So we're going to tuck this one this way. Hold that. And while we're holding that, we can go ahead and glue this one. There we go. Yuck. And just fold that over. Okay, and then we'll do this side. We're like halfway done already. I did the hard part figuring out how to design it. Now I just got to figure out how to, just got to remake it. Okay. Almost there. See how this paper just doesn't want to, this paper is really, really thick. So it really wants to pop up. It's pretty sturdy. It was actually called chipboard in the package, but I don't see that it's, I think it's thinner than chipboard. It's not, but it is definitely thick. All right, we are going to go ahead and take our bone folder and we're going to work this in just a little. Be careful not to poke a hole in it or tear it, but we want to kind of train this paper here to fold so it doesn't break or tear or crack when we fold it. Okay, this is going to be the corner of our box. Remember, this is the corner of our box and this is the front of our box. So it's going to go this way. So we need another side and then the back. So what we need to do next is we're going to take the other half of that 12 by 12. We need to make this side. So we're going to put this piece, this is the other side here, and then we're going to put the back on this end. All right, so if you're not quite sure how to fit it, just hold up your box like I did and you'll be able to figure out how to place it. All right. So we want to leave those edges again so that we can fold them over. And this one's going to be slightly taller in the back. I did that on purpose so that the lid would have a room inside for tabs for your index cards or for your dividers. So we want to go ahead, let's glue this one down. This is the side. Remember that it goes 4 inches goes to the bottom and 4 3/4 is the height. Okay, so the longer side goes up. This is 4 3/4. This is 4 inches. I hope that made sense. Okay, this one we're going to glue as well. This is the back. I don't remember if I gave you the measurements on this one. The back is 6 1/4 inches by 5 inches. Okay, we only need one of those. You know, I really should have wrote these down on another piece of paper before I glued them all together, huh? Because I didn't. I'm just gonna have to measure everything when I'm done. That's okay though. Okay. And if I had done this better, I'd have left myself a little more room here, but it'll still work. It'll be okay. But that's not gonna leave me a lot to work with to wrap over, is it? It's all right. Okay, now we're going to do similar with this one. We're going to miter these corners. And I know you're wondering how we're going to attach all this. Just trust me. It worked on the first one. It'll work on this one. Now we're going to miter this corner. I'm going to come back to that center section in a second. So I got to think that one through again. This one is a little awkward. This one, we're going to go here, almost to the edge there. We're going to miter this one just a bit, and we're going to do the same here. Okay, it's not going to leave much to wrap here. That's all right. We're going to cover it inside anyway. When we decorate, we're going to cover that section, so it's okay. Now, oops, let's do the bone folder again. Just crease that paper around, make it easier to fold. Go in between. I don't know if I did this side. We'll do it again if we did. And then let's just glue. Okay. Getting a little aggressive with my glue. Down. I'm holding that down. I'm going to clean up some of these edges. some of this trash, get it out of the way. We won't need those corners. Got a cleaner work area, huh? I am a messy crafter. I have never claimed to be a clean crafter, so I hope that doesn't bug anybody. I watch a couple ladies who are the messiest crafters, and it makes me feel so good that I'm not alone in that. And it doesn't bother me a bit, but I know it might be hard for some. I don't know. I'm curious. Is it difficult to watch messy crafters if you're not a messy crafter? I don't know. I don't know. And I don't want to name names. I'm not trying to call anybody out. I just, I think it's fun. Everybody's style is so different. And it's just so neat. Neat to see how different creators handle it. Because I think we all have the same problem. I mean, we all feel like we're messy, or we all feel like, you know, our craft-a-lanches are just coming down on us when we're working sometimes, but we all handle it a little different. Some people craft so cleanly, it's amazing. I don't know how they do it. That is not my style. Not that it's a bad thing, it's a good thing. I just don't do it that way. All right, this is going down now. This was a sign, it says women-owned business. This was a sign for, I think, October. And we promoted several businesses within our store that, in our grocery store, that were owned by women. And it was so cool. I can't remember which ones, though, for the life of me. It seems like forever ago. But it's always cool to see that there are women-owned food businesses that are doing well. There we go. Food industry. Strangely enough, the food and grocery industry is not a very female-friendly industry. So, love it. There we go. Fold this last one up. Like I said, this one's going to be a little bit tough because I didn't leave myself much room there, but it will be okay. And we'll be covering the insides of this box, so if there's little gaps, it's all right. We can cover that, not a problem. This is still bugging me. You can see how my paper is fighting me. It's trying to come up, even though I've worked it. It's still trying to come up, and that's what I was having trouble with. The tape just wasn't wanting to stay. And there's this little tiny tab right here. And I'll try to work this in, put a little glue. There we go. Use that bone folder to help with that corner. That worked really well. And then we're going to train that paper again in the crease here. Again, don't push too hard because it will tear. And we'll just train that paper to come up. Okay. Now we've got our 4 sides. Excellent. Now you're still wondering, how are you going to attach that, right? I know you're thinking it. I know you are. Now here's something you could do. You could take this time to go ahead and decorate the inside. You could do that. But I did mine when it was all put together. And I don't know if it makes a difference. It's just how I preferred to do it, because then I could go back and use scraps, and it just worked for me. So I'm going to do it the same way I did it before, just because I know it worked. but you could decorate the inside first if you prefer. If that makes it easier for you, go for it. Okay. So we're going to attach those in a minute. First, I'm going to take the bottom piece. Okay. This bottom piece is 4 inches by 6 1/4. And how did I do this? I'm going to see, I thought I did it wrong on the first one, but I made it work and it worked out pretty cool. So this one, I did not decorate the bottom of my first one. What I did, you could use decorator paper to do this step right here. And that's fine if you want to do that. I did not decorate the bottom of mine. I used this craft paper because I figured it's not really going to be seen. I didn't really care if it was decorated or not. So here's what I did. I just glued it here. And actually, I went all the way to the corner because I cut around it. So we can go all the way to the corner on this piece. Paper. I didn't give you the size, but it's going to be the decorative paper. It's 4 by 6 1/4. Same as the bottom of the box, okay? Because we're going to trim right around it. So nothing magical about that. Just need to cover the bottom. And it'll make it sturdier as well. All right. Done with that. Now we are going to take this piece. We are going to get another piece. That's not going to work. I'm just going to get a new piece of this craft paper. And we are going to glue it down on here. Now this paper you want to be the same as the rest of the same paper that you used for here. You want this, well, this is going to be the bottom of your box, but you want it all to match because it's going to show if it doesn't. I guess it doesn't have to if you want your the bottom of the box to be different, but all right. So we're going to go ahead this side up because it's going to be the inside of the box. And we're going to leave about, you know, well, I don't know, an inch around the square, because we're going to use these flaps to attach it to the top of the top portion of the box. I'll explain in a minute. We're going to do that next. Okay. So we'll make sure that's nice and solid. And then we're going to cut around approximately an inch. So it's going to give us plenty of material to work with. All right, we're going to miter these corners again. You're probably seeing a theme. You'd probably be right. Okay. Okay, now we're going to go around it with the bone folder. Help it fold. Did I already do that? I don't know. All right, and then we're going to take these and we're going to fold them all the way in. And I use the bone folder once again to make sure that these creases, these folds were nice and creased. Very strong crease. Okay. So we want them to stay put. Get nice and tight against the bottom. There we go. Now this is the bottom of our box. We're going to be taking this piece and we are going to be taking this piece. Oops, I just dropped something. And these flaps that are on here are going to be glued up to the sides of our box in just a bit, okay? First, before we do that, we're going to take, let me see if I actually have some cut. I don't. I'm going to go ahead and take, ooh, will that work be tall enough? Yeah. We can take some scrap paper. And what I'm going to do, I need 2 pieces that are maybe an inch and a half, 2 inches long or wide is fine. And we're going to go ahead and fold this in half. This is kind of like a Band-Aid. This is going to be like a seam binding or something like that. That's going to hold these edges together. Okay. Fold it in half. Do the same on this one. They need to be longer than, I didn't measure these because they need to be longer than the height of the box. So they need to be at least, that one's 6 1/4 by 5, at least 5 inches long. Okay. Better if it's a little bit longer because then you can trim it away if it's the wrong size. Sorry, I'm not more precise, you guys. This is just, you know, kind of how I craft. It's just how I do it. All right, now we're going to go ahead. Let's just take this one first. And we're going to take this side and we are going to put glue all over this one. Now you could make a really rustic one and use like masking tape or something like that, or washi tape, something like that to do this. And what I did was I went ahead and folded this all the way. I only glued one side, but I folded it all the way over so that I knew that I would have some room to fold this onto the other piece when we put it on the other piece. Okay, see how it leaves just a tiny gap in there, but it's just, actually, I didn't set that right. Let me try that one more time. It needs to be in that corner. It needs to be smooth. Okay. And it does have a little gap in there, and that's what we want. Now I'm going to take this piece and cut here. And then we're going to do the same with this piece. We're going to stick it in here. And this is going to glue it together. Okay. Line those up the best that you can. You want it to be kind of tight, but you want it to be able to fold, so that should work right there. Okay. Now with this one, I cut this paper this way, just on the top here. And I just folded this piece to the inside and glued it in here. A real easy way to just tuck it out of the way. Okay. It's coming along, isn't it? All right, so next up, we need to do this corner. We're going to do the same thing. You can see how that kind of just band-aided that corner. Trim off the bottom if it hung over at all, because it won't sit flat if it's not. So here's the other piece. And we're going to put it on this end. Okay, we only glued the one side, but we got to fold it over and make sure it fits. And then we'll glue this side. Make sure we're getting in those corners. And if these aren't straight, because I see this is a little bit smaller on this end and this end, it's all right because we're going to be covering all that. So this is just the base. So this is like your mat before you put the design. Okay, we're going to be decorating all this. You won't see these seams. You won't see a lot of the imperfections if they're there. If you even have any. I'm going to go this way. We just want to trim this up so it's even all the way around. We can just glue that to the inside. So this gluing this to the inside will actually cover that little gap in there. You won't even see it. worked out great. And once again, if it's sticking out over the top, actually that one doesn't even matter because we're going to be gluing over that anyway. So now we have the sides of our box, okay? We have the sides. You saw that. And we have the bottom. So what we're going to do, we're going to set this here. And one side at a time, we're just going to glue it. I don't know where you guys are at. We're just going to glue this. Told you it was easy. This is not hard, right? We're almost done. All right, so we've got to make sure that this is in the right spot though. It'll fit just around that outside of that board down there. And we're going to just glue, we're going to pull that up. And I'm going to lay it flat just so that I can smooth it from the inside and hold it in place for a minute. Just kind of smush it down and make sure it's all glued. My goodness, my dog is so funny. She has got a bath yesterday and she got a haircut and she's over here just laying out on her cushion. She's a happy girl today. She is happy. We're all home. She's not begging for attention. All right, so this side is glued. We're going to do the same thing. Make sure it's straight though, because otherwise your box is going to be funky. And we're just going to glue that. You can lay it on the side once again and smooth it out. Hold it till you need to. See, I don't know if I made this more complicated than it needed to be. I don't think so. This was the easiest way I could think of to get this done and be able to show you guys. So I hope this is making sense to you. This is the second one I've made and it seems to be working pretty well. Okay, go ahead and fold that one up. And then when we put the papers over to decorate this, it's going to help hold these papers on too. So it'll have another layer of support that's actually holding it all together. So I think this is going to last for a long time. It's certainly a sturdy box. We're going to do a lid too. I'll show you how to do that. I'm calling it a lid. It's a little flap over, huh? I don't know what you'd call it. I was going to do a full lid and I'm like, you know, I kind of like the way this looks. I just think I'm going to leave it. So I threw away the other pieces and this is what we're doing. Okay, so we'll do the same thing here. Just fold it up and press it down. Make sure it's all spread in there. Everything's gonna stick. Look at that. You can even leave it just like this. Well, decorated, of course, but you could even leave it like this. It'd be kind of a cute box. You could even cut the sides like this if you wanted to. I'm not going to do that. I love it the way it turned out. We're going to keep going. So this is what we've got so far. Now we need the lid. Okay, so I've got those pieces were the pieces I decided not to use. Where is it? Top of the box. Is this the top of the box? That is not the top of the box. At the top of the box. I forgot to mark it. I think that's the top of my box. Is this the front of my box? This is not the front of my box. This looks too short. What did I do? Did I do... This looks more like it. Nope, that's too long of the box. Well, where's my box? Which one's right? That's too short and it's too fat, so I know it's not that one. What did I do with it? Is this the top of it? I might have to recut that if it's wrong. Oops, that's the wrong piece too. Is this the right one? All right, so that's the top of my box. This one is not the front of my box because it's too long, but it's the same size, and I actually do want it a little bit wider. I think I'm going to use this one, but I need to cut it to 6 1/4. Let's see what this one is. We'll match it. Whatever this one is. 6 1/2. So We'll mark this one 6.5. I think I lost the piece I was supposed to use, but that's okay. This is going to work out great. 6.5, just barely under the groove. There we go. All right. So what I was saying, this piece, this piece is 6.5 by 4.25. 6.5 by 4.25. This is going to be the top of the box. Okay. And it's going to be a little bit wider than this because it looks nice. Yep. That's the only reason. So 6.5 by 4.25. And this one is 6.5 by 2.5. 6.5 by 2.5. Hey, Chloe. So we're going to take, this one's two, we're going to get another piece of paper. Doing a tutorial. Chloe's wandering through the house. Okay, so let's take the front piece first and glue this down. Going to leave enough room to wrap it again. So we'll go here. Just kind of the way we've done the other. And then this one, put on there too. And we'll leave that little space in there again so we can bend it. Okay, and then we'll hold that down and make sure it's nice and attached. Okay, now on this one, we're gonna again leave space so that we can wrap it around. And at the back end, we want to leave a little extra. Actually, just go all the way through here. We're gonna do about, I don't know, 1.5 inches, 2 inches here. It doesn't matter, but we do want a little extra because that's gonna be how we attach it to our box. And then we're gonna go ahead and miter the corner, just like before. These two. Got a little close to that one. Okay, let's get those out of the way. We can move these out of the way. Now let's go around and with our bone folder, once again. Oops. There we go. And in between, we got to crease that paper and train it, or help train it at least. And let's go ahead and put some glue on there. There we go. Yeah, I saw a lot of cookbook kind of things, and binder kind of things, but I didn't find any actual recipe boxes that were what I was looking for. Anything like this. I searched and searched several times. I couldn't find anything, so super excited to have the chance to make something different for you guys. Obviously, if I couldn't find it, you couldn't find it. And if you're interested in making one of these, here you go. Be great for swaps, be great for, group swaps, crafty swaps, for gifts, for Christmas. I mean, it is Christmas time as I'm making this. Any of those things. A great way to share some recipes with some friends or family. All right. This one's being stubborn. this side. I think we're just going to do the bones today. You'll be able to decorate yourself. Once you figure out how to make the box, it'll be easy to decorate. Because this probably takes enough time. I don't want to keep you guys too long. All right, let's train this part again. Because remember, this has not been folded yet, but it will need to be. And this one we need to make sure is trained as well. This is crooked. I don't care because it's going to be covered with my decorations. We're just going to fold this one and train it. All right, and let's fold this one. Make sure it's ready. Now on this one, we're going to lay this flat with the back of the box, the part that's the tallest. We are going to put this glue here. And put this on here. Make sure it's in the even. Remember the lid piece is just a little bit wider than the back. So you just want to make sure it's in the middle. If you've got plenty of room to fold that, okay? Make sure you press down and get that glue in there real good. And we've got the basis of our box, you guys. That's it. So one of the things I did find with my paper was too thick. I tried to use a magnet to close it. I ended up going with Velcro, and I don't usually do Velcro because I like magnets, but it was the better option for this one because, basically our box is done, you guys. It's done. We did it. That's it. It's going to be that simple. You've got your box. Now, what you do want to do when you do decorate this piece that covers this part, actually, I'm going to go ahead and show you this part. I'll see, I don't know what paper I want to use on this one, though. That's the only thing. I think, well, I'm just going to show you for an example. I'm not going to decorate this one yet. You want to make sure that the paper that goes in here, I've got a hole in this, so this isn't actually going to be what I'm using. You want to make sure your paper is a full piece because you need something to hold these seams, okay? That's bare. You don't want to put a matted piece on here. You could put, you know, a plain piece of the same paper in here and then put squares of your decorator paper. But one way or another, you need a solid piece to cover this back so that these are reinforced. So that is one thing I definitely recommend that you do. And then your choice of closure. Once again, let me show you the finished one. See, right here, I used one piece of paper all the way back. I measured from the bottom to the top, was 11.5 inches, I believe, by the width, and I cut it back just a little bit on each side so it would cover almost to the edge. But this is all one solid piece. Then train your paper with your bone folder like we did before when you fold it so it doesn't crack, and you'll be able to fold it. Then I used my Velcro. I had a little patch here because I tried the magnets. It didn't work for me, simply because I think my paper's too thick and the paper was too strong and it didn't work. But this worked really well. It caught that Velcro perfectly, gave it a little room, and I think it's just right. So once I decorated the bottom, I didn't decorate the bottom. I did decorate the insides of this to cover all those raw edges. And just measure the sides and put the papers in that you like. Do the same thing on the outside. I didn't decorate the bottom, decorated the back. You can put decorations on here. You could do all kinds of things. You can make your folders, or you could do actually folders. That would be super cute. Little file folders in here for different kind of recipes. Or you could use dividers, would be fun, in the coordinating papers and all kinds of things. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you give it a try. You see how easy that was. I say easy but you can do it. If I can figure this out, you can do it too. So I hope you enjoy it. Check the description box for the measurements. I will put them there. And I hope you guys have a great time making your own recipe box. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for crafting along. And I hope you guys make many, many, many boxes. Can't wait to see what you do. All right. Well, have a great day. Thanks again. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.